everyone, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a book haul. I don't remember the last time I've done a book haul on this channel. I'm going to try to get back into doing monthly book hauls next year. It seemed like every time I did a book haul, it'd be time for another one. And I procrastinate on videos. I hate editing. I really do. I procrastinate so damn much. I got other stuff to do. I don't want to worry about editing. And when I do, my computer is slow as a damn snail. But, yes. All of these books I have to share with you today. Some I've bought, some I received from publishers, and a stack of library books. Library books I'm going to do first. So the first book from the library stack is one I'm reading currently and really enjoying. Is No Fear Shakespeare Macbeth. I have never read a Shakespeare. This is my first Shakespeare. I have read two retellings or reimaginings of Shakespeare plays. I have read Romeo and Julio by Sharon Draper. That is a Romeo and Juliet retelling. I have read New Boy. I think that is a Hamlet retelling. And then one that I read a couple months ago was Dunbar, and that was a King Lear retelling. And also I've watched Shakespeare reimaginings, Lion King. I've watched bits and pieces of 10 Things I Hate About You. I really need to sit down and watch it. I just can't sit down and focus on it. Like, the next one is Animal Farm by George Orwell. The only George Orwell book I read half of it. That was in high school. I read 1994 Big Brother, and I have always wanted to read this one because it's like the Russian Revolution but with animals. And yeah, never read this, so I'm going to be picking it up next month. One that I'm going to be getting to sometime this month, hopefully day of Thanksgiving or the day after. It's Magonia by Maria Devana Headley, and it's about a baby who suffered a mysterious lung disease that makes it hard for her to breathe, to speak, and to live. My neighbors are hunting. And all the doctors can do is give her drugs and hope they keep her alive. And when she sees a ship in the sky, her family chalks it up to a cruel side effect of the medication. So, like I've said in my TBR, that this reminds me of another book that I've read called Crescent Stone, about a girl who has a lung disease and she has to give up a year of service to have her disease disappear. So, I'm looking forward to this one. One that I wanted to pick up earlier this year and never got around to, and I'm going to be reading next month, but then I got it and the size is like freaking massive, and I'm going to be reading Fire and Blood by George R. R. Martin next month. So hopefully I get a good many books read next month and not just two. But that is The Golem and the Jinni by Helen Wecker, and I have been like eyeballing this damn book all year long. My daughter, my 11-year-old, she's obsessed with The Legend of Zelda. Like, obsessed. She's writing fan fiction. She wants all the games. And so, I was, like, on Goodreads one day, and I just typed in Legend of Zelda because I wanted to see. I bought her the Legend of Zelda encyclopedia for her birthday. And I was looking at the other books, and then I saw this, and I was like, what is this? And then there's a bunch, and this is Legend of Zelda Four Swords Legendary Edition, and it's a manga. So she's reading manga now. The only books that she'll read are graphic novels and manga, and I never knew that my first manga that I would be reading, because I'm going to be reading this too, would be Legend of Zelda. I thought it would be like Death Note or Orange. I think it was Orange, but I didn't finish it. But yeah. So, I don't know. It's a hero's greatest challenge is himself. Link must find a way to defeat Shadow Link, but only after he uses the Four Sword to master the colors of his own heart, and all of this is just a prelude to the danger posed by the Dark World and the evil Vati. So while my daughter was reading this, she was just grinning from ear to ear. And then her favorite Legend of Zelda game is Twilight Princess. And so this is Twilight Princess Volume 1. I need to get Volume 2 and 3 from my library, but I think this is a companion, or you're supposed to read this before you play the game or after, or what, like during you're playing the game. I know my husband played the game and he beat it. And then my middle daughter, Ariana, she's playing it now. So I'm going to have to ask her, because she's already read this also and is like badgering me every day. Is the book sent from the library yet? Is the book sent from the library? No, kid. No. So, and I really enjoyed watching my husband play Twilight Princess. But, yeah. Manga. And then the last book in the library stack is one I already read and kind of disappointed, but really, like, not really enjoyed, but I'm in the middle. And that is The Lost Village by Camilla Sten. This is a translated work from a Swedish author. It's translated by Alexandra Fleming. And it's about this documentary crew. They go to this abandoned town. Alice, she has heard stories from her grandmother who grew up in this town that there was an evil pastor that came and like brainwashed the town and everything like that. So yeah, I'll go more into it about this in my November wrap up, but I read this for the Buzzword Readathon because the word is lost. And yeah, I'll get more into my thoughts on this cover also in that wrap up, because I'm not happy. I thought this cover was like specific to the story. It's a generic cover. So, pack of books right here are the books that I purchased, and then these are from publishers. So, my husband, when this book hit stores on publication day, I finished the e-copy, and I am obsessed, and I was so mad that the sequel was not even written yet on this book birthday. And I told my husband, I just could not shut up about it. And then the next day he went to the bookstore and was like, this was the only copy left on the shelf. And so he ended up buying me Iron Widow by Zirin J. Zhao. And this is The Handmaid's Tale meets Pacific Rim. And so going into this, I'm a big fan of the show The Handmaid's Tale. Absolutely love it. I had never seen Pacific Rim. And then while I was reading my e-copy, I was like, I'm going to watch Pacific Rim. Watching that, I was so mad that it wasn't this. And then I just kept thinking, oh, this is never going to be turned into a movie, because it is exactly like Pacific Rim with the machines and I love this book. It is definitely going to be a reread before the sequel comes out, which has been like not confirmed, but it's on Goodreads. And so, and I learned that Zirin J. Zhao is a YouTuber. So, and this takes place in a Chinese city called Huaxia. The highest honor for a young girl is to be selected as a concubine pilot. And supporters are paired up with male pilots to power up the chrysalises, the giant transforming mechas that humanity relies on to battle the massive aliens that lurk beyond the Great Wall. And she ends up getting partnered with the pilot that killed her sister, and she ends up like fighting his control, and she becomes the Iron Widow, and she gets paired up with the Iron Demon. And the Iron Demon is a prisoner who killed his family because his brothers raped a village girl. The next one I bought, it's from one of my favorite travel writers, and it is Eastern Horizons Hitchhiking the Silk Road by Levison Wood. This was his first book about his trip when he was 22 after he got out of the army or from college. I think it was college. Levison Wood was only 22 when he decided to hitchhike from England to India through Russia, Iran, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. But he wasn't the conventional follower of the hippie trail. A fascination with the deeds of early explorers, a history degree in the bag, an army career already planned, and a shoestring budget of £750, including for the flight home, he was determined to find out more about the countries of the Caucasus and beyond, and meet the people who lived and worked there. So, I've watched all of his documentaries, and the one that I may get this confused with is from Russia to Iran. Yeah. Where he starts in Afghanistan. Or no. I'm already getting confused. That's Himalayas. But, yeah. So, I have read all but the elephant book it has, and I love his writing. So, if you have not heard of Levison Wood, he's famous for his documentary, Walking the Nile, where he starts from the source, the controversial source in Rwanda, and he walks all the way from the source all the way to the Mediterranean. And if you want to watch it, it's on Animal Planet, but I highly suggest, like, when you get done watching Walking the Nile, you pick up his book, Walking the Nile, because it's more like a companion to the documentary. Whatever didn't go into the documentary, it went into the book. And so it's behind the scenes. It goes more into detail about his trip to the Rwandan genocide. Not the Rwanda. I think it was Rwanda. And the Sudan genocide. I learned about this in high school and I don't remember it. But yeah, so if you pick up any Levison Wood, I highly suggest starting with Walking the Nile. But this is his first, like, trip, and it's got pictures and see, and come on. He's easy on the eyes, too, so. And then, the last book I bought, it's a damn brick. I can use it as a weapon. And my husband, who's not a reader, he saw the cover and was like, ooh, I want to reread my favorites. Man's never picked up a book since we left high school. Edgar Allan Poe, Complete Tales and Poems. He wants to go through the book and reread his favorite poems. And I started. I don't remember what I read, but yeah. And I almost dropped this damn thing too. My foot would have been amputated. All the 2 stacks of books that I got sent from publishers. I don't know which books I have shown in a book haul, in my last book haul, but if you've seen it before, that's alright. I have shown some of these in vlogs. So, I got Curse of the Spectre Queen by Jenny Elder Moak, and this was sent to me by Disney. And it is, may the hazel bring you wisdom and the aspen guide and protect you. Samantha Knox put away her childish fantasies of archaeological adventure today her father didn't return home from the Great War. Okay, next book I've already read, and it is The Cursed Carnival and Other Calamities, New Stories About Mythic Heroes by Carlos Hernandez, Rashni Chachki, J.C. Cervantes, Yunha Lee, Kwame Ambalia, Rebecca Rowanhorse, Taylor K. Mejia, Sarwat Chada, Gracie Kim, and Rick Riordan. This is the anthology that Rick Riordan did with the Rick Riordan Presents authors, and each author has already written a book for Rick Riordan Presents about their respective mythology, and I have tabbed it with my favorite, or not my favorite, but my ratings. So I got a lot of 3 stars and 4 stars. My favorite was what story? I really like the Gum Baby Files by Kwame Mbalia. I like, my favorite was Burrito and the Freaky Flower by Taylor K. Mejia. She wrote Palo Santiago and the River of Tears, which I didn't really like, but I loved the short story about Burrito. The Loneliest Demon by Starwatch Chada. I read City of the Plague God back in January and really loved that one. It's about Mesopotamian mythology, and at the time my kids were learning about ancient Mesopotamia. And my least favorite was Rick Riordan's My Life as a Child Outlaw, and it's Celtic mythology. I didn't like it. So, yeah. Okay, another one that I got from publisher. This was sent to me by Aladdin, and this is Frankie and Bug by Gail Foreman. I think this is her first middle grade. Yeah, so it's summer and all 10-year-old Bug wants to do is go to the beach with her older brother and hang out with the locals just like they have for the last 2 years. But now Danny wants his space and Bug is stuck hanging out with her neighbor Philip's nephew Frankie, who has come for a visit. Bug thinks it's a little weird that Philip hasn't met Frankie before, but when she discovers that Frankie is also fascinated by the Midnight Marauder, a criminal on the loose in the LA area, she realizes that it might not be so bad after all. And they go on a quest to catch the attacker. So, it's a beautiful and tender story about the discovery of a powerful friendship starring 2 fantastic kids and 1 extraordinary family. And that was blurred by Rebecca Steed. And Rebecca Steed wrote one of my favorite books of the year. A List of Things That Will Not Change. That was a good one. So, I'm trusting her blurb on this one. The next one that I'm really excited to get to and read with my kids, it's The Outlaws, Scarlet and Brown by Jonathan Stroud. And this was sent to me by Nope. I'm like Julia Child. How do you pronounce it? Who cares? Scarlett McCain is a shoot first, ask questions later kind of outlaw. She scrapes by on bank heist, her wits, and never looking back. She's on the run from her latest crime when she comes across Albert Brown. He is the sole survivor of a horrific accident, and against her better judgment, Scarlett agrees to guide him to safety. This is a mistake. Soon there are men with dogs and guns and explosives hot on their heels. Scarlett's used to being chased by the law, but this is extreme. It was only a little bank that she robbed. As they flee together across the wilds, fighting off monstrous beasts and dodging their pursuers, Scarlett comes to realize that Albert Brown is hiding a terrible secret, and that he may be the most dangerous threat of all. And so this is about heist and wanted posters, and yeah, she's just got money floating all around her while she's blowing a bubble. And then one I read last month, read this last month, and it is Salt Magic by Hope Larson and Rebecca Mock. This is a graphic novel set during World War II. It's about a little girl. She lives on a farm in Oklahoma. Her brother comes back from the war because he was wounded, and this lady in white comes and tries to get him to come back to her. He rejects her, and hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. She turns the farm's fresh water into salt water. And so Von Seal, the little sister, she has to go on this quest to get the lady in white to turn the water back, because now it's affecting the whole town. And it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait for the finished copy. It was published last year, or not last year. It was published last month. And I may see if my library has a finished copy, because I really want to see the rest of the novel in color, because the beginning, it's got color, and I just love it. So, yes, highly recommend. It's a quick read. My kids read it, and they liked it. And they did a book report on it for their school work. So, the last stack from publishers. I'm going to try to make this quick because I'm running out of space. This got sent to me by the author, and the author is Taryn Malik. She's an Australian author, so when I got the notification that I was getting mail from Australia, I thought somebody done stole my credit card information. And it took a long time to get here, but it is Snotlings. And it is, can you survive the Snotpocalypse? Jackson Hart loves picking his nose, but when he finds a tiny warrior in his booger, everything turns weird and dangerous. Not only does he have a civilization of Snotlings up his nose, one wants revenge. Mukazar and his awful germ army have conquered both nostrils, and Jackson's world is next. Can Jackson and his friends stop the Snotpocalypse, or will Mukazar's deadly creation destroy the planet? And so I think I got this in a vlog. I unboxed this, and I was like, yeah, my youngest, she's a nose picker, so maybe I'll get her to read this. And it's not a, did I say this was a graphic novel? It's got a map, but it's not a graphic novel. It's a novel. So, and look at the little warriors. And then the Mukasar, that's really sick. So, yes, Snotlings. Okay, so I mentioned this author earlier when I was talking about No Fear Shakespeare and how I've read reimaginings of Shakespeare plays, and one of them was Romeo and Julio by Sharon Draper. I love Sharon Draper. I've read most of her books in middle school, and so I got her new books. I was sent both by the publisher, Athenaeum, and I think the first one was, yeah, the first book in the series is Out of My Mind, and it's about 11-year-old Melody has a photographic memory. Her head is like a video camera that is always recording, always, and there's no delete button. She's the smartest kid in her whole school, but no one knows it. Most people, her teachers, doctors included, don't think she's capable of learning, and up until recently, her school days consisted of listening to the same preschool level alphabet lessons again and again and again. If only she could speak up. If only she could tell people what she thinks and knows, but she can't because Melody can't talk. She can't walk. She can't write. Being stuck inside her head is making Melody go out of her mind. That is, until she discovers something that will allow her to speak for the first time ever. At last, Melody has a voice, but not everyone around her is ready to hear it. And yes, so Sharon Draper, I think she's a great author to read during middle school because it teaches lessons. And then their second one, it's Out of My Heart. This is her new release, and it's like so tiny and cute. Every single day since I was born. Oh, this is from Out of My Heart. So this one is about Melody. Once again, the huge-hearted heroine of Out of My Mind is a year older and a year braver. And now with her Medi-Talk. Okay, so this is still about Melody, and I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to read anymore because I don't want to spoil myself. But yes, I can't wait. I need to get the books that I read in middle school so my kids can read them because I really loved them. Like Tears of a Tiger and that series. But yes, I can't wait to read these and have my kids read them. Because Sharon Draper, she's just an amazing writer. Yeah. This next book was also sent to me by the author, and that is They Stay by Claire Phrase, and it says dead doesn't always mean gone. And it's about, what if the only person who could help you find your missing brother was dead? Okay. Nothing is as important to 16-year-old Shiloh Olsen as her little brother Max. So when the 6-year-old goes missing without a trace, a heartbroken Shiloh refuses to believe nothing can be done and sets out to find him. When one of Shiloh's classmates says she knows where Max is, Shiloh hesitates to believe her. Francesca is creepy. She says she can see ghosts, but everyone knows ghosts aren't real, right? But Francesca says that Max is going to be murdered, and a ghost told her where he is. As the line between the dead and the living begins to blur, Shiloh starts to think Francesca might not be as crazy as she believed. One thing is becoming clear: someone has gruesome plans for Max, and Shiloh must confront her worst nightmares to find him before it's too late. And I am loving the cover because I haven't paid attention to it before, but it's like a graveyard. And then it's got like people in the background, like ghosts. And I believe in ghosts, so I am like really looking forward to this one now, because I have never read the back. I did not know what this one was about. I knew it was about a missing child, but I didn't like read into the synopsis, because I avoid synopsises like the plague, like the COVID. But yes. And my blog tour is going to be up the day before Thanksgiving for this one. But I may not have read it in time. I may start it. Another graphic novel, this time from Disney. And it is Heartless Prince by Lee Dragoon. And my blog tour for this will be up on the 27th of November. And it is about Ebony is an orphan princess from a kingdom destroyed by a power-hungry witch. Prince Amon has recently been drawn to her, or at least he's drawn to her uncanny ability to sense when familiars, servants to the witches, are approaching his kingdom's borders. And Ebony has always longed for something more with Amon. Wanting to prove himself to his kingdom and parents, Amon takes Ebony outside the borders to fight the familiars face to face. All is well until they're captured by the witch Aradia, who steals Amon's heart and leaves his body to turn into one of her familiars. What's worse, his sister Nissa has been taken hostage by Aradia's daughter. Ebony makes it her mission to retrieve Amon's heart and save Nissa, taking her into the mysterious Witchlands. There, she will discover a secret about her past that will change everything. Beautiful. And yeah, and the witch on the back is like creepy as fuck. Okay, so the last three were sent to me together by the publisher Holiday House, and the blog tours have already gone for this one. I have not read them yet. So the first one is Wait Your Turn. The first one is The Bear House by Megan McIsaac, and this is about rival princesses. Aster and Ursula are the only children of the ruling house of Bear. Rivals, both girls dream of becoming queen someday. Although neither really deserve to. Brilliant, spoiled, and difficult, they have little to recommend them. But everything changes when their uncle murders their father in a bid for the crown. Overnight, the girls are forced onto the run, along with a half-grown grizzly Alcor and the symbol of their house, and lowly bear keeper Dev. And it's about the struggle for the throne, like middle grade Game of Thrones, but only one throne. Only one house fighting for the throne. So Game of Thrones meets Prince Caspian. That's what I'm thinking. Because it's got an evil uncle killing people and stuff. So, yes, and the cover. Looks like Ursa Major with the... And it's like zodiacs. It's got the scorpion, the ram, the wolf, badger, a dragon, a bull, and a serpent. Okay, next one that couldn't wait its turn was The Lost Language by Claudia Mills. This is a book written in verse, and it's about 11-year-old Betsy is the one who informs her best friend Lizard, I'm loving these names, that thousands of the world's languages are currently threatened with extinction. Betsy's mother is a linguistics professor working frantically to study dying languages before they are lost forever. But it is Lizard who, gripped by the magnitude of this loss, challenges Betsy. What if, instead of writing about dying languages like your mom, you and I saved one instead? As the girls embark on their crusade to learn as much as possible of the near-extinct language of Guernsey, spoken on the Isle of Guernsey, off the coast of France, their friendship faces unexpected strains. With Lizard increasingly obsessed with the language project, Betsy begins to seek greater independence from her controlling and charismatic friend, as well as from her controlling and charismatic mother. But then tragedy threatens Betsy's life beyond what any words can express, and Lizard does the unthinkable. And then the last book that was sent to me by Holiday House, it's JD in 5 Dimensions by Diane K. Salerni. And I read one Diane K. Salerni book this year, Eleanor Alice and the Roosevelt Ghosts. I'll be talking about... I need to edit my October wrap-up. So, Y'all will see that before this, but yeah. This is about J.D. Martin grew up believing she was abandoned by her parents as an infant and left to die in a snowbank. The story goes that creatures from the fourth dimension rescued her and placed her with a loving adoptive family. Now J.D. acts as an agent for the beings, also known as seers. She uses the alternate geometry of force space, a travel system through the fourth dimension, to travel all over Earth, performing missions calculated to guide her world toward a brighter future. But when J.D. breaks the rules to cover an assignment for another agent, she discovers that her origin story is a lie. Doubting the seers, J.D. starts asking questions. Why are their missions so important? Do they really make the world a better place? And what will the all-powerful four-dimension beings do to a rebellious human girl when they realize she's interfering with their plans? A Wrinkle in Time meets Flatland, in this thrilling think-outside-the-box adventure that challenges the meaning of family, loyalty, and free will. This is going to be one hell of a video to edit. It's going to be long, so I hope you have a snack. But anyways, that was my book haul. It's not my end of the year book haul. I'm going to be doing one more book haul this year, and that's going to be after Christmas and my birthday. My birthday is December 21st. Ugh. I've always hated my birthday. Anyways, that's not what this video is about. This is the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any of these books, read any of these books, want to buddy read any of these books, let me know down in the comments. And yeah, so make sure you give this a thumbs up. Hit the red subscribe button, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.